Hi everybody, it's me Jill. Welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of Vanderpump Rules Season 8, Episode 13, Prank Wars. Hey all you cool cats and kittens. God, what is happening to us in quarantine, guys? Alright, so full disclosure, I have completely finished Tiger King. Like probably 9 out of 10 of you. Let me ask you this. Would you recommend it to somebody else? I feel like I would just say it is like a train wreck you cannot look away from. Was I fully engaged and entertained for all 7 episodes? Yeah, I was. But there was no, like, if you were to write this, if this was not a true story and you were to write this, it would never see the light of day because every single character is like dialed up to 11. There is no one who is even remotely normal. It's so unbelievable that if I didn't know this was a true story, you could not convince me that it was true. Yeah, one person is just wackier than the next. So if that's an endorsement, I don't know, but just a little caveat if you haven't seen it yet. All right, but we are not here for Tiger King. We are here for Vanderpump Rules and all of those characters who are dialed up to 11. Let's get started. Okie doke. This episode opens with a bunch of little scenes. Ariana is horseback riding with Lisa. They meet, and Lisa's horse Todd, and Lisa tells Ariana that she has taught it to speak. Tardon parler! Tardon parler! And after a few tries, the horse neighs, and Lisa's like, oh, did you see that? Yeah. Next, we have Katie coming over to Stassi's apartment with In-N-Out Burger because Stassi is very hungover from the party. We check in with James and Raquel. James is in the kitchen again making bacon. I gotta tell you something, man. With all the things wrong with James, he does seem to be a decent cook. I'm kidding. Listen, the kid needs a lot of help. A lot of help. Anyway, he tells Raquel he had a dream the night before. I was in some kind of virtual reality and Lala was in my dream. Why was Lala in your dream? He tells her it's because the night before, Lala bringing up that rumor about him. Raquel said, I have to ask you point blank, were you drinking at that party? And he said no. And she said, because if you were, I have a big problem with that. And he said, I promise you I was not. Today I am 6 days sober. In his confessional, he said that he used to think that alcohol was like a medicine to solve his problems, and he realized it didn't solve his problems. I don't know, you guys. I hope he's telling the truth. Checking back in with Ariana and Lisa, they're talking about James being sober. Ariana said, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like Groundhog Day, though. I hope he's really doing it this time. Cut back to James and Raquel, and James said that he's been talking to Lisa every single day. Either she calls to check in with him, or he just calls her real quick to say how he's doing that day. So, I mean, that's good. He probably needs a real sponsor, too, like from AA, but at least he's, I don't know, being accountable in some way. Back at Stassi's, she said, so Katie, last night when you were drunk, like you said you were going to have a wine night for girls without Kristen. Is that like, do you still mean that? And Katie said, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new girls. I haven't gotten to really know them yet. So yeah, so she's talking about everyone she's inviting. And it's basically everyone right down to Charli, Danica, and Raquel. And in Stassi's confessional, she's like, if Katie was just having like me, Lala, Brittany over for wine, I think Kristen would be like, okay, yeah, whatever, I get it. But the fact that she's inviting every girl in West Hollywood except for Kristen, pretty sure Kristen's going to be pissed about that. Oh, God. I'm so happy that we go back to Lisa and Ariana so that we can watch Lisa try to give Tardon an erection. In Lisa's confessional, she said, well, I'm sorry, but if it's wrong, I don't want to be right. I want you to be right. Next, we are at Sir, and Sandaval and Jax are behind the bar. Sandaval just had a birthday, and I guess the next day it's going to be Jax's 40th birthday. Jax said, I always told myself I wasn't going to still be working at Sir when I was 40, and here I am. Yeah, here you are. I bet you work 10 minutes a week there. A side note, every time Jax is on Watch What Happens Live, he keeps saying that he hasn't spoken to Sandaval since his wedding. And we keep seeing all these scenes where he obviously is speaking to Sandaval after his wedding. Raquel asks Peter if she can take a break, and she goes out back, and Scheana is sitting out there taking her break, and they talk a little bit. Raquel's phone rings, and it's Katie inviting her to the girls' wine night. Scheana is mouthing, oh, I'm going to say yes. So she thanks her for thinking of her, and so yeah. This wine night is happening, guys. Okay, now Scheana and Brett are having a little chat, and Brett, I guess they're going to film a YouTube video at Scheana's the next day or something. And she's like, yeah, it should be really fun. Brett tells us that he's been doing YouTube videos for 4 years, and he thinks that what the content that his viewers really like is just him being his real authentic self. Because he has a lot of women following him. Yes, the majority of my followers are women as well. And the content they really like from me is when I talk about you, Brett. Well, maybe not Brett in particular. Oh my God, you guys, this conversation is so funny between Brett and Scheana. He's talking about how cool it is that they are really friends. Like, I really care about you, but I would never want you as a girlfriend. And I just think we have this other kind of relationship that I'm loving. And Sheena's like, yeah, right. Cause I would think to myself, what girl wouldn't want you? Because you check all the boxes for a perfect guy. And he's like, no, yeah, right. So I'm just saying, I just when I'm with a girl, either I'm banging them or I'm dating them or whatever. And with you, it's just really different. I feel like I could talk to you like I could talk to a guy. I feel like I could call you up and go, oh, Scheana, oh my God, you got to hear about this girl I was with last night. And Scheana goes, yeah, I mean, as far as us, we could just see where things go. She is not hearing him at all. It is they are having two entirely different conversations. Oh, it's one of the things that I love so dearly about Scheana. He's telling her, I have zero sexual attraction to you. And she's like, right, of course. So we could just see where things go. Maybe things will develop differently. Okay, now we are at Sandaval's house with Tom Schwartz and Max. And I don't know, it's 2 p.m. on a Thursday. Max said he has to go in and work later that evening. But because it's Jax's actual birthday and Jax is out to lunch with Brittany, Sandaval wants to TP his house. Schwartz keeps saying no, he's not going to do it. Then they're doing beer bongs, funneling beer. And it is kind of nuts and crazy. Schwartz will not go. They're out at the pool now, and he's like, I'm not going, I'm not doing it. But Sandaval is determined to TP Jax's house while he's gone. Max goes with him, and you guys, I know I'm not the only one. I could not think about all this toilet paper going to waste. Right now at our local grocery store, for the first time in probably 2 weeks, they got a supply of toilet paper in, and they are limiting it to 1 roll, a single roll. These guys have 3 36 packs of Cottonelle. It is just, there is just a part of this that is killing me. Obviously, I know this was filmed many months ago, but it's a little hard to watch. Okay, so Jax and Brittany get home, and Jax does not think it's that funny. Of course. I guess he calls Sandaval first. He FaceTimes him and he goes, "Did you do this?" And he's showing him the trees. Sandaval has TP'd his own trees. Not nearly as bad as they did Jax's or as high, but he just shows him enough that he says to Jax, "Oh my God, they got you too? Look it." So now Jax really is confused. In Sandaval's confessional, he said, "All right, there are a few things you need to get away with a prank. You need plausible deniability. You have to have like good details. And the last one was that you need gullible friends." So then they start calling. They called Schwartz. Schwartz said he swears to God he didn't do it, which he didn't. He didn't even go with. And then they called Stassi and Beau, and they deny it, of course, because they didn't do it. Beau's like, "It has to be the Toms." And Jax goes, "No, it happened to their house too." So, I mean, that is probably the most clever part of the whole thing. Otherwise, I don't know, man. Max helped Sandaval do it, but he did say that I think this is more like Sandaval having some underlying resentment toward Jax that he needs to work through. And that seems more likely. This is not, "I'm going to prank my best friend." This is like frenemy stuff. Okay, now we are at Scheana's apartment in Marina Del Rey, and oh God. Brett is filming for his YouTube channel. He's got 550,000 followers. Okay, it's a few more than me. And right away, Scheana like cozies right up next to him on the couch, and he's like, "All right, you don't have to sit that close to me." And she's like, "I'm just trying to get like my good side." And he goes, "Okay, but like scoot." And so she leans back and he goes like, "Scoot your butt away from me." So after that little exchange, then he tells everyone, "Okay, I'm here with my good friend Scheana." Yes, you're such good friends. Oh my God, he is such a jerk. "I'm here with Scheana. She is 34 years old. Yes, she's a middle-aged woman. She's quite a bit older than me. And she is freezing her eggs because she doesn't want to get into a relationship right now." Ew. What a jerk. It's not like Scheana doesn't deserve some of it, but do you really consider this guy your friend? He clearly sees value in you as somebody who will get him in more solidly on Vanderpump Rules and or will get him more followers on YouTube or whatever. He sees you as somebody who can benefit him financially or fame-wise or whatever. He's using you. What do you, Scheana, need Brett for? That's what I want to know. She says, "Right now, yeah, because I'm just kind of dating boys." And he goes, "Well, what you put out there is what you get. So are you a girl?" Don't say that. Oh, God. She's a middle-aged girl. Okay, so Stassi shows up first at Katie's house, and Katie's putting out like a charcuterie tray, and Stassi brought some of their Witches of WeHo wine. I think Stassi's a little concerned about Kristen's reaction to not being invited. Well, to being the only girl not invited. And Katie's just kind of like, "Yeah, well, I'll be fine with it." So then we cut to Kristen's house. I love her little house, you guys. Her phone rings, and it's Scheana. So Scheana is the one that's going to tell her. She starts by telling her about Brett's YouTube show and how Brett called me a middle-aged woman. Like, he kept calling me that. Like, what is up with him? Oh, side note, you guys know how I look at how people list their friends in their contact list. I am obsessed with that for some reason. They kept showing her phone on and off, but never long enough for me to kind of read the whole thing because the name was scrolling across. It was, I believe, it said Scheana, Shay, or two others. So maybe she has Scheana in there under 3 names, possibly Scheana Marie, Scheana Shay, and God only knows. I don't know. Anyway, more importantly, she then goes on to tell her about the girls' wine party. And Kristen's like, oh, that's precious. My 2 wine partners having a girls' wine party without me. Yeah, that's about the size of it. Oh my God, you guys, this is the most bizarre side note, but they just had a commercial for Shahs of Sunset, a show that I have never seen, not even one episode of. I just have never watched it. And so I don't even know who this girl is. She says to Reza, they're subpoenaing me about my ex. And Reza looks at it and he goes, R. Kelly? Did you believe you could fly? Oh God, that was funny. Okay, so girls' night is going great. People are dressed to varying degrees of fanciness. Scheana is wearing like sweats, what she wore in her YouTube show with Brett. And she is still complaining about the middle-age comment. I mean, there's a lot to complain about. That wasn't great, but there were a lot of things that I wouldn't have liked. Calling her a girl maybe would bother me as much as being called middle-aged. So yeah, so the girls' night is going great. Meanwhile, the guys are at Tom Tom. Jax, I guess, is going to have a party. It's 80s themed. Brittany's telling the girls about it too. She said everybody here is invited. It's going to be at Rocco, which is across the street from Tom Tom. Okay, so we're going back and forth between the girls' wine night and the guys at Tom Tom. And at Tom Tom, Sandaval, he has a bag he pulls out from behind the bar and he gives it to Jackson. He said, this is from me and Max. Then we cut to the girls and Brittany said, I want to know who TP'd our house. And Stassi said, I have a theory. And Brittany goes, I think it was you and Beau. And Stassi said, no, I think it was Sandaval because he keeps trying to pin it on me. And then Ariana said, well, somebody came to my house. I was home and they came to my house too. Then we cut back to Tom Tom and Jax opens the bag and there's a roll of toilet paper in there. And he goes, I knew it was you. And they're laughing and this is not helping Jax's friendship with Sandaval. Let me just say that. Oh my God. Okay, this is the Lala I don't like. She definitely thinks that she is above Raquel. And I guess, did she say that it was Jax said that Raquel was going around telling everybody that she told Lala to shut the fuck up? But Lala is like, she is lucky that I let her speak to me. Oh, in her confessional, she said, people like her need to know their place and let people like me run shit. Oh boy. How dare Raquel stand up to you? I don't know. My feelings about Raquel have changed a little bit, and I think that's why I feel so differently about comments like that right now. Last year, Raquel just really did dumb things, and I was annoyed by her for doing idiotic things and standing up for James when he was, clearly wrong with his behavior. So I was on her side, and then when she would say things like, you Bambi-eyed bitch, I found it amusing, even though it was abusive. But this year, I appreciate what Raquel is doing because we see Raquel standing up to James, giving him ultimatums, telling him he's got to do better. He has to stop drinking. And she is actually trying to help him, not enable him. So for her to find her voice a little bit and not be so timid and shy, I encourage that in Raquel. But Lala does not like that. Lala wants to keep Raquel down. Oh, well, okay, Lala kind of got what was coming to her. She got her, she screwed up her courage with her little talk with Scheana outside, came in through the sliding kitchen door and said in front of all the other girls, Raquel, we're going to have a talk right now. And then it was like, you're not talking, just listen to me. And Raquel kept trying to come back and say, you kept bringing up Logan. And the conversation doesn't even matter. What matters is Lala tried to step on Raquel, and Raquel didn't let her. It was interesting. Lala ended up getting frustrated. Raquel said, it's like a hamster in a wheel. We're going nowhere. And Lala goes, that's how I feel when I talk to you all the time. At best, you're like a yapping little chihuahua. And Raquel said, and you're a Rottweiler. We all know that. And then Lala said, no, I'm a pit bull. I'm a Michael Vick dog, which, yikes. Brittany's like, you're scaring me. Stassi was kind of like laughing in the corner, trying not to laugh. And I did not see it going this way. Raquel said, Stassi, what do you think about this? And Stassi started to say, well, and Lala shut her down. Lala shut down Stassi. And everyone was kind of like, what? Yeah, so interesting that Lala would go after Stassi. Kind of just makes Stassi be more on Raquel's side, right? Charli, in her confessional, said, maybe Lala still wants James. I don't know. Sometimes we want guys we know we shouldn't have, and then you never really like the new girlfriend. I don't think that's what is going on here. I really, really don't. But it's interesting that, nobody understands why she's coming at Raquel like that. Okay, now it's Jax's 80s birthday party, and I almost said his 80th. It's his 40th birthday, but it's 80s themed, and Jax has like long hair and crop top and leather jacket, whatever. And Sandaval, another time that he's seeing Sandaval, Sandaval's gift to him was a samurai sword signed by Randy Jackson. You see the trouble that he went through. He said when they used to live together, they watched Step Brothers all the time. And I guess Will Ferrell, I don't know this, but I guess Will Ferrell's character had a samurai sword signed by him. So he went through the trouble of kind of tracking down Randy Jackson's assistant and getting him to sign it. And yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. And Jax definitely seemed to like it. No matter what he says about Sandaval now, I think he liked that gift. In the confessional, Sandaval is so excited about how he got the signature and everything. And he was so happy to give that gift to Jax. And then the producer says, what did Jax get you for your birthday? Sandaval, I don't know. I don't think he got me anything. Brittany probably did, right? I would hope. I forgot earlier we saw Raquel bringing James to another AA meeting. I don't know if that's happening simultaneously with Jax's birthday party or not. I understand Jax not wanting James at his birthday party, but at that wine party, Brittany did invite everyone there to the party, and Raquel was there, so I don't know. I don't think we're going to address that, though. I think Raquel and James just aren't invited. Anyway, Kristen is there, and so is Carter. Anyway, Brittany is talking to Kristen, and she said, oh, I'm glad you came, and I'm sorry you weren't there last night. The party was fun, but I don't really like what's happening between you and Stassi and Katie. Kristen said, I don't understand it. They're my family. They're my LA family, and we're supposed to stick together through thick and thin. And she claims that she has said things when she was angry that she regrets, but Brittany said, well, I think they have said things they regret too, but I don't know that they have. So maybe Brittany, you don't speak for them because they're pretty angry. We cut back to Raquel picking James up from his meeting, and he said it went well, and he spoke for the first time. He was really nervous. Yeah, I don't know. I hope he's being honest about his sobriety. Okay, back at the party, Randall is there. And so he sits Jax down and he said, so listen, I think when somebody has entered the 40 club with me, that they should never get with. So as far as this prank with the toilet paper, my gift to you is I am going to help you get revenge. And he said, I'm the prank master. I've done pranks in every one of my movies. So tonight at Tom's house, I have prank cop cars showing up and they are going to arrest him for vandalism. Oh, so I just realized we've all been pranked all season long. Do you remember that teaser that they keep showing about Sandaval getting arrested? Wah, wah. I thought it was going to be a lot more interesting than it's just a prank. Oh, well. Okay, so the prank. It works. The cops come, cuff him. They're like, this is about vandalism. Katie seems very concerned and worried. Ariana is worried. Ariana, when they tell her it's about vandalism, she said, Jax, they're saying it's about vandalism. And Jax said, I didn't call anybody. I mean, maybe my neighbors saw it and I swear I didn't call. Jax is doing a good acting job. Lala is doing a good acting job. Randall is. But it goes on for a few minutes and then Randall said, hey, so here's the thing. When you fuck with my friend who's turning 40, this is what happens. And then, everyone starts, well, not everyone, but they start laughing and Sandaval comes out. Sandaval is okay. He's being a good sport about it. But I think he was getting worried. Definitely, Katie's this is not funny. I don't think this was a good joke. And it's slightly backfiring. Jax is as long as Sandaval is laughing, he's okay with it. And he goes, yeah, man, I'm cool. I've been in a few cop cars before. And he's like, that's all that matters. And he's high-fiving Randall. It isn't like everyone is 100% in agreement that this was the funniest thing ever. So now that everybody is processing it and processing it differently, Sandaval said, hey, you know what? It was fine. It was a great prank. And Katie said, you being handcuffed by the cops and thrown into a cop car and you want us to not react? Schwartz goes, Katie, shut up. It's funny. And Katie goes, I don't think it is funny. And he goes, you're ruining a great moment. We're laughing. And she said, I don't think it was a great moment. Schwartz, nobody gives a shit about your opinion. It's times like this that they're probably grateful they aren't really married. Sandaval is desperately trying to get Schwartz to shut up because it's getting worse and worse. He's like, ugh, I've never been more turned off in my life. Blech, blech. About his own wife. And Sandaval is like, stop it. He's getting really mad at Schwartz. But Schwartz will not be stopped. He goes on to say, that's why I don't have sex with her. Katie goes, Tom. Even Beau's like, dude, I gotta say no on that. I've never really seen Schwartz as a mean drunk before. But if it's just alcohol that's in his system, maybe it's not. But if it is, this is the first time I've seen him act like this when he was super drunk. Because now Beau is trying to tell him that's not, the way you were talking to your wife is not okay. And Schwartz goes, I'm not looking for you to agree with me. I don't need you to agree with me ever. So he's getting belligerent with Beau even. I haven't watched this show since the very beginning. I've probably only been in on maybe 4 seasons now, but I have never seen Schwartz this vile. Now he's calling Katie a moron, and Sandaval is yelling at him, shut up. It's really bad. Now they're kind of off in private. Well, Sandaval is there, trying to get him to stop, but Katie goes over by him, and he's like, Bubba, that was the worst thing you could have said ever. And she goes, it's fine. I'm not mad if that's really how you feel. And he said, you're gross. I'm deeply turned off. You know what the worst part of this is? For me personally, you're making me feel sorry for Katie. I don't want to feel sorry for Katie. Katie is obnoxious. But I am dying inside for her right now. Oh my God, how could I forget this? Katie says in her confessional the last time Tom spoke to her like that was last year in Mexico when he said, I don't like the sound of your voice. Duh, Jill. Yes, of course. I'm acting like I've never seen him be mean to her, but yeah, okay. Maybe this is par for the course. Then Schwartz wants them to leave together, and Katie's like, I am not going home with you. And that's where this episode ends. Yes, wow. Alrighty. And it looks like next week, Dayna is making some more good decisions. Not. Oh my God, you guys. All right. That is it for me. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Jill Informed. I got to get my numbers up to like Brett level. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I read all your comments. I love to hear from you. Stay home if you can. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And I will see you next week for the next recap of Vanderpump Rules. Bye.